Um, I am actually trying to help you to set up the environment using the conda, and then set up the debugging using the Pycharm. So that's the thing. And okay, on the there is something called Miniconda. It is actually included in the project description. Just you can click that and download the necessary thing for your OS. I recommend using the Python 3.8. I'm using Ubuntu, but any Mac and Linux installation just will work fine. Windows also. And for PyCharm also, uh, we require only community edition. No need for professional for now. If you want to go for professional, just go ahead. There's a free trial, but this is community is okay for now. So I just downloaded that and it is in my downloads. So PyCharm, Miniconda, and this resources you will actually get from here. Uh, in the testing your installation, there is one thing called resources section that you can actually use. See, this is the project folder. I think you might have already set all these up. Anyway, I just want to start new. Okay. Uh, so um, this is the one. So uh, depending on your OS, this will be different for each thing. So for Linux, it is just bash uh, Miniconda, this thing. It will actually get you through the installation. But I think for the most other things, you can actually just uh, go through your installation process. I installed Miniconda in home folder itself, so it will take some time. Yeah, you can go ahead with using S. Okay. Yeah, so this thing I actually prefer to auto activate is equal to false, because like otherwise you whenever you open the terminal the conda will be activated. It can be interfering with your other installations. So I recommend using this. Yeah, so I think you need to open a new terminal to handle that, and then just yeah, so that see you can see a conda environment is active. So if you open a new terminal after this, yeah, it is no longer active by default. Okay, yeah. And for PyCharm, Linux, it is just you can extract that and just activate that. But for Windows, I think it is an installer file, and same for the Mac, I think so. So it will be like extracting that to my IDE folder. So I'm going to ID. So if you are not familiar with command line, you better actually get used to that. So we will be using that uh, for a long time. So to install for Linux, it is just bin page. It will just load and at the same time actually install this thing. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to show you. Okay, we can install the other things. Okay, for our project related thing, I actually created something called MITx. This folder we will be keeping all the files, and I will be creating conda environment over here. So in here we can start with, yeah, we are actually using Python 3.8. It is the newest version, we can use that. going to take some time. Yes, depending upon your system, these things can actually take some time. Yeah, we have created an environment. We can just activate that using this thing. Okay, so if you see something over here, that means that your environment is active. So inside this environment, we will be uh, installing the necessary libraries. So you can do that one by one. So PyTorch is actually a bit heavy. I think it will take some time. Yeah, we are done here for PyTorch. We'll actually, PyTorch was a bit heavy, but we'll actually continue with the other packages. Others are like much more smaller ones. Yeah, we are done with actually creation of environments. We have installed all these packages successfully. Then we will actually go with uh, uh, our first project. So we will take this resources project 0 and I will put that in our project folder, extract there. Yeah, here. Here is our project folder. Just we don't need this back files. Okay. So to open Pycharm, you can actually go to that IDE folder I created and do that. But I think for you, uh, you don't have to actually for Windows and other things. You don't have to actually do that. So just go to our project folder. Yeah, this is how you open that file. Yeah, so you can configure the Python interpreter here. So here you can select the Python interpreter as interpreter as existing environment. Like yeah, you can use the conda environment and use this thing. So this will actually set the your interpreter as in the our virtual environment. We can just okay. If you want to actually configure that again, you can go to File Settings, Project, Python Interpreter, and just select in here, or Show all. Just you can add. You can remove this interpreter if you want, and select OK. This will allow us to just handle that. So the first indexing will actually take some time. So our main.py is the one, yeah, in this particular project, the main.py is the one we actually run. Test.py is the one that runs the test and do that. So we can actually uh, like execute the test.py first. You can select run. Yeah, it actually just searches for like our numpy installs, IP install, all that thing. Yeah, from the project one itself, you can actually check. This actually checks whether all these things are installed or not. If it is not, then you need to verify that test again. Yeah. So we will actually look into this thing again. I will actually, I think project 1.0 is actually somewhat difficult to debug. Yeah, we can actually set up this thing, debug.py. We can see how we can actually debug this. We can just try running that. Yeah, we have an issue. Uh, okay, first thing should be 369. So like how we can actually get into that is right click and just set the debug. It will actually run it as debug. So uh, we didn't actually set up the debugger like breakpoint set. So in order to actually do the breakpoint, you can click it over here, like any line. If you want to break, you can click it over here, and when you actually debug the command, it will actually stop over there. It will show all the things currently. So in first actually the argument predictions, it is 0, and uh, it is not doing actually anything. So on metrics it is uh, showing like that. So you can actually click here. It will actually run, since it is a loop, it is actually out there. So you can actually go through all the steps. Like if I actually want to check some matrices over here, you can see it is 6. So that thing is wrong. So we may have to actually fix this code and actually get through that. So the advantage of this is you can actually look into your variables and codes, like before go through each steps. You can actually uh, do that. So there are many advanced variables, like advanced options, like you can actually assign the variable, or you can actually evaluate a expression. So for example, predictions plus 1, things like that. You can actually evaluate expressions, step into like step like these are like normal actually options. So this kind of debugging is actually expected from our side, because if you are actually using the like print statements here and there, it is not going to work well on when you actually paste it over there, and it is actually much more powerful, uh, and you can do that. Like see if this is a function and things like that. This actually is much more easier when you actually go by the when you do on the project one and so. So I think this is it for now. So if we actually want to, yeah, you can see in the console about that things. Yeah. So so this is actually a really good way to do. So in here you can actually edit the configuration and see the Python interpreter. You can change that, but for our case it is not needed. So I think that's it.